Hello.
Hello.
I wish it was a little more. I wish there was a better way to transition from the countdown to the live show. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
You sound excited and full of pep.
Oh, yeah. Had a little surprise before we started here. Oh, we lost John. Hello, everybody.
This is a friggin' train wreck already. What's happening? I went to hit comments and I ended the broadcast. You were still there, right?
Yeah, also there.
Okay. Hi, everybody. It's John and Richard. Sorry about that. We're StreamYard. We're new to StreamYard. We haven't used it.
It's only been 2.5 years. Yeah.
What's up? I see everybody. I see Mark. I see our good friend PRLM 35 Red Skull, Amy. Hi. Oh, Richard, do we want to start with this?
Yeah, I saw that. Hi, Viva Collectible. Yeah. Well, let's put it this way. John was very gung ho on it at the beginning.
And
we're not so much anymore. We both cashed out as soon as the option was available. I cashed out most of my books. Made a substantial profit off of it. I still have some of them still there. I'm still torn about collectability of NFTs as a long-term asset. It's different if you're collecting it because you like collecting collectibles. That's great. It has, rarity and collectability and all that. But if you're doing it to make a profit, you may have a harder road to hoe than other ways of investing that money.
I think Mitchell here has my issues. I can't, right when I think they can't scrape the bottom of the barrel any further, they go a little beyond the bottom of the barrel. I think the one that broke me was when they did an X-Men comic because it was Thanksgiving and there was, the X-Men comic inside featured Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
At one point when you're doing a drop twice a week at one point, it became less about getting excitement and more about, hey, how can we make more money immediately? Which, God bless them, it's not what I'm here for.
Right.
Show and tell, everybody. Silver Age Sage is here. And hi, Shu, first time, and K Mort, howdy.
Hey, K Mort.
Richard, we have a lot of books to share. Do you want to go first?
I just picked some books that I like. They're not necessarily new, but books that I just don't see a lot. Here we've got, this is Invincible.
What the heck is that?
This is actually Invincible number 135. This is a book that was only available at the Retailer Summit in 2017. It's a sketch variant of Invincible being, the whole Gwenpool thing. I've always liked this cover. I've always liked this book. I have not seen very many copies of it. Matter of fact, I can't think of. I've never seen one in person. Besides this copy that I have right here.
How do you not get sued for that?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, it doesn't say Gwenpool on there. It's just a character with a hood.
You've got the Marvel trade dress on the right-hand corner, the old trade dress from the mid-2010s. Dear Lord, how do they not get I don't want to start anything, but
yeah, this oh yeah, look at the bottom. The bottom, it says Image. It looks just like the Marvel trade dress.
There are homages, then there's just flat out theft. What is the line?
I would hope that this was something that was done with Marvel's blessing. But,
yeah, sure.
Yeah, Image and Marvel. But no, this is a cool book. I just like it because, like I said, I've never seen another copy of it. So
say hi to Cujo. Bye. And all the way from down under, JIR Token.
Oh.
Uh,
Welcome.
Courtney, what is up? Courtney, fingers crossed for you. Let's get those results, unless you want COVID. I don't think you want it.
Yeah.
James Porterfield, thank you.
Thank you.
And the green machine is here. I had a green machine when I was a kid. I used to peel out. And Kurgan had he went to Kanan, Oklahoma, and picked up some oddball stuff. Yeah, we
Nice.
love oddball stuff. Speaking of which, my first show and tell. If you guys missed it last week on Comic Book Canon when we were on, here it is for you. Let me get Richard in here too. There you go. It is Lancelot Link, Secret Chimp, #1, 9.0, off-white to white pager.
So how long was that run? How many books in that run?
It actually, gosh, that's a good question. I know it ran like 12 or 15 issues. It ran for a while. It was a crazy gold key book, but there you go. Lance Link, everyone, Secret Chimp. My favorite Lance Link character was Ali Assassin.
Okay.
Who was like, from the some vaguely Middle Eastern country, and they would have the monkey with like, the gum or whatever in his mouth and a big turban. He would go, la 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 la.
I remember the show. I remember not really understanding what was going on. But yeah, that's definitely from that's HR Puff and Stuff era kind of stuff there.
Lance Link, Secret Chimp, Lancelot Link, and the Evolution Revolution. God. I want, if anybody has that on vinyl, I do want that. I've been looking for that for a while. Okay, what is your next book? Yes, Cujo, Mata Hari, his girlfriend.
Yes, Mata Hari.
Lancelot.
Oh my goodness. Okay, my next book is this is a favorite, I think, of both of ours. It is Marvel's Collector's Item Classics #1 from 1965. This is a great way to get to read some of the most iconic books in Marvel's early history. We got Fantastic Four #2. You got Spider-Man #3. Isn't that #3?
That's #3.
Yep. Tales to Astonish and Journey into Mystery. I don't remember the issue numbers on those, but you get basically a reprint. This is an early example of reprint of all those books. It's kind of like an annual from 1965. It is an awesome way of reading these books and not feeling guilty. I would not thumb through my Fantastic Four #2. Well, I will happily thumb through this book. It's not very valuable, but it is a very nice book. For
they're going up though. Shoes like shocked at how cheap they are. Marvel Tales is going up for sure. #1, and I think Marvel Collector's Item Classics is right behind.
This is about a five maybe. It's a decent copy. But no, it's a great book. If you've come across it, it's one of those books I always buy when I come across it because it's reasonably priced and I think it's a good book.
Such a beautiful purple. Bring it up again. I think that purple cover.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous purple color to the cover.
It looks nicer than a 5.
You think so? It's got some damage to the cover. It's hard to see because it's Mylar. It's always shiny.
Yeah, but you can still get a 9.9.
You think?
Apparently, you can get a 9.9 in the back quarter crunch.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, here's it's really nice cover. And the back is even nicer. It's a nice back to it too.
Oh, that looks like a 9.9 to me.
Yeah, it's nice interior. So
you guys will love tomorrow. You guys will love tomorrow's show, by the way. If you think we're poking the bear now, just wait. My next one is this book. It is Captain America #216. There is nothing special about this book except for the following. It reprints Strange Tales #114, which is where the Human Torch fights Captain America, and it's not really Captain America, it's the acrobat in disguise. It was the first appearance of Captain America since 1954. It was like a little test run to see if people wanted Cap back, and then he appeared in Avengers 4 after Strange Tales 114. The reason why I like this book, I was a kid. I was, let's see, 1977. I was 9 years old. My two favorite superheroes in the entire world were Captain America and the Human Torch, and they were together in the same comic. And I loved Gil Kane's art, and it's got a great Gil Kane cover, and it's action packed. And I was super excited. What I really liked was for this issue, Human Torch replaced the Falcon because it was Captain America and the Falcon. So you had the Human Torch's logo here and the Human Torch here. And I thought, oh, is this what the book's going to be like from now on? Is it going to be Captain America and the Human Torch? Oh my God, all my dreams are coming true, and I'm only 9 years old. Didn't quite work out that way. Yeah, but I love this book.
That's awesome. I love personal stories like that.
Yeah. We've got a few more comments here. Just got to pay enough. You can have a 9.9. Richard, come on. Vinny is on a fantasy masterpieces kick. You get another book that's getting expensive and tough to find. Kept one of those behind the counter. I worked at a shop, read it like once a week from our friend Murder on the Horsecock Express. The name has changed, but the sentiment is still the same. And our show is always on point. Thank you. And Cujo says, just finished watching the Richard Getting Out of Debt episode. Question. Been thinking about selling my Amazing Fantasy 15 2.0 towards a rental property, but I'm torn. Your thoughts? Thanks.
It depends on the property.
You want to go first?
Depends on the property. It's location. I think there's long-term value in AF15 2.0. Can you make more money off the rental property over a 5-year period of time than you will made in terms of increasing value on the AF15? That's the big question. That's profit, not just ownership, and then you got to take out all the expenses of owning a rental property, and you have to do work. So I keep the AF15 because it's kind of a guaranteed thing. But rental property is more, you're trusting your tenants and their ability to take care of your stuff.
Are you ready to be a landlord? I have been a landlord, and I ended up having to hire a property management company because I hated being a landlord so much. So if you are ready to be a landlord and you want to be a landlord, Cujo, you do it. Yeah. We have a few. Okay. We have a Vexer saying die with a high credit card bill. That's his plan. And Spiders, yes, consider maintaining the rental and the time too, because it's a soft cost. It's not just a hard cost. And here's something interesting. John Doe was curious if either of you heard anything about CBCS changing their name. Wouldn't be a bad idea since they're losing books left and right, apparently. It's Beckett's, right? Would they change it to just Beckett's? I don't know. Haven't heard anything about that yet.
No, I'll have to watch Comic Book Investments, see what he says. His dad, according to him, his dad does work for CBCS. So
maybe his dad can help them find the books that they're missing.
So yeah, somebody's got to.
What do you have?
Another book that I buy whenever I see it, because I am such a huge fan of this show. It is
Link?
Star Blazers #1. Our buddy Deslock, I wish he was here. This is a show from back in the 70s, a Japanese show that was dubbed, brought to the United States and dubbed, and had a solid run in the early 80s on TV. I remember it was one of the shows I would rush home because it came out at 4:00 in the afternoon. I would rush home.
WUD channel 43, 4:00, followed at 4:30 by Battle of the Planets.
Yep. That was the run. And I watched this show diligently. There are 3 seasons of it. I think they only did the first 2 at the time. But I love this book. I buy this whenever I see it. I'm sure they keep, over the years, they keep redoing the television show, and they do redo comics. But this is Kamiko's. This is the first run of comics for this
All right.
type.
Two things about that book. Can you hold it up again?
Mhm.
Does it have a large vertical crease all the way
It
down?
does. It does. It needs a press.
Press that sucker. And everyone in the audience, is it Kamiko or Kamiko? I want to hear everyone's comments on that
Yeah,
because
I go
everyone
between both.
everyone pronounces it differently.
Yeah,
But
I've called it both.
Ariel, ready? Our Star
Blazers,
Blazers. Hi, Lyle. How are you? Love the small Star Blazer comics from the UK. Have you heard
Oh, I
that?
haven't seen those. I will have to
Yeah.
track this down.
Oh, this is depressing. My dad loved Star Blazers.
Yeah, Grandpa Owen used to tell us about Star Blazers all the time.
It was called Spaceship Yamamoto originally.
Yeah.
Hood Rat, what is up, buddy? Jay
Rat.
Nunya, did you see the Galaxy Express 999
No, I have
or
not.
the live action Star Blazers?
Oh, I have not seen live action. I have seen the 3D Star Blazers. Was our Battleship Yamato 20, was it 2099 or I can't remember. There was some
Right.
but no, I haven't seen live action. I have to track that down. Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Comico,
Go.
Christian, this doesn't help anyone. Green Machine says the first one. Comics. Kamiko.
Yeah.
PRLM, this doesn't help anyone. Comico. Or Alex, GIF or GIF?
GIF. Oh, it's GIF forever. Even though GIF is what the developer says, or the person that came up with it, is still GIF.
Kamiko?
Kamiko. Okay.
Kamiko.
Kamiko. I think this is thanks, Greg.
Then Arco.
Yes. Yes. I think that's going to be a battle that goes on forever, unless somebody from the actual company can speak up and give us a definitive pronunciation of it.
All right, you guys are split down the middle like we are. My next book is another personal favorite, and that is Captain Marvel number 47. You guys may have heard me talk about the series, but not this particular issue. This is the very first comic book I ever had a subscription to, and this was the first issue that I got from that subscription.
Now, did it come folded? I mean, did you have the crease in your subscription books?
It came wrapped in a brown paper wrapper with my name and address on it, and they mailed it flat, but it was folded and put into our mailbox. So mailed flat, however, was not delivered flat. I know this book by heart by just looking at it over and over again. For people who hate Al Milgram's art, I suggest you look at this era where he was inked by Terry Austin. He was great. It was good stuff. So this was a very special book. Trivia for everyone that watches the show. What was the second book I ever had a subscription to? Talked about that too.
No, don't know.
You don't remember? How
I don't
dare you
remember.
not remember everything about my personal life, Richard? All right.
Sorry.
Meanwhile, the sea is silent.
Which one?
Kamiko. Eric says it's Kamiko. It's a front for
okay.
Komika.
I like that.
Mark.
Well, thanks, Mark. That's not helpful.
Kamiko. Oh, do we have any thoughts on the She-Hulk series? I don't know if we've ever talked about that.
Yeah. I don't know if we have. I still like it. It's it's tongue in cheek like Sensational She-Hulk was, and if you try to take it as seriously as you take some of the other MCU movies, then you're just not gonna be happy about it. I think it's good.
I don't think it's awful like a lot of people. I think it could be funnier. I think for a show that's supposed to be a comedy, the laughs are a little few and far between. However, the last two episodes have made me laugh out loud, so it's improving.
Yeah.
I want to see where it goes. Vexer did not know there would be a trivia test. However, Late Night has the answer. It was indeed Howard the Duck was that one. And there you go.
Very good.
All right.
Thanks,
By the
man.
way, thank you, Vexer. Hit that thumbs up if you guys would, please. K Mort, Terry Austin is the best inker Marvel ever had. I'll say it. After Klaus Janson? No, Terry's the best. All right. What you got?
Next, we were on Comic Book Canon, and we talked about the other version. This is Kanan number 6. This is the first cover appearance. I don't know if I can get it without the glare here. First cover appearance of the Rebels. So you've got Ezra Bridger, you've got Sabine Wren, and you've got the other members of the team. So if you want the first cover appearance, this is it. Their first appearance in the comic is in Kanan number 1. I like this book. I bought a couple of these back when they first came out because I think that they are a good long-term hold, because we're going to see Ezra Bridger in the new Ahsoka Tano series. And that's his first cover appearance.
Every time you say Sabine Red, I think you're saying Simply Red.
Simply Red, yes.
Holding back to you. For those who hate Al Milgram's art, just look at Supernatural Thrillers number 9. Correct. Funny you should say that, because the next book I have is not number 9, but Supernatural Adventures number 5. This is the first appearance of the living mummy, as opposed to the dead mummy.
I love that cover. That is just an outstanding cover.
It's great. And the story inside is my man, Steve Gerber. Again, just knocking it out of the park. Did so well. They brought him back in issue 7 and made it an ongoing series. And, lasted a year or so. The Living Mummy, a tough book in grade. I thought this was going to come back higher. I'm happy with a 9.0. I thought it was going to be a 9.2, but we'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah. That was a great looking book.
Here's that one. Before we head to your next one, let's do some housekeeping, answer some questions here. John, who asked about She-Hulk, says he loves the show. Moon Knight's the best one they've done. However, Frog Brawler says She-Hulk is the reverse Moon Knight. It started bad and has continually improved. God Avenger says, like She-Hulk a lot, like it a lot. We love Madison with a Y, but not where you, 2 N's and a Y, but not where you think.
It's a great character. Great comic relief character. I miss those.
Yeah. Do either of you have Jack King Kirby's Captain Glory with Steve Ditko, Roy Thomas? I do. Wasn't a fan. Not the top stuff from the 90s, the Kirby verse, not the best. Kirby verse, you think I'd be all over it, but yeah, Don Heck, late era Steve Ditko. Everyone wants to see your acetate cover.
I don't. I honestly, it's in a shirt box someplace around here. I'll whip it out next time. Yeah.
Sure. By the way, are we excited that Keanu's coming back for Constantine?
Yes, I am. I thought he did a great job in the first one. I think he's got the cred now to really to draw in a larger audience. So if I was DC, I would definitely be rebooting this for doing a second movie with him. Absolutely.
Tie in the Sandman, maybe.
Yeah, that would be it. I was thinking more along tying in Swamp Thing and pulling Swamp Thing in. I think Swamp Thing would be a great, and they have, obviously Constantine first appeared in Swamp Thing, so there's a tie there.
How many horror Marvel titles are there? Let's see: Tomb of Dracula, Frankenstein, Werewolf by Night, Ghost Rider, Son of Satan, Supernatural Thrillers with the Living Mummy, Man Thing. What am I missing, people? Tell me. The Living Mommy. All right, a few more things. Any guess who will represent the Hero Initiative at NYCC? No idea.
No idea.
Good question. Boy, Don Heck and George Tuska. Yeesh. Exactly. That's why I was not into, you know what I mean? Fear. Yeah, Man Thing. Sure. Dracula. Got that in there. All right. What's your next one?
Oh, okay. I got two different ones.
Or is it my turn? Your turn, right?
Yeah, it's my turn. You did Living Mummy last.
Yes, I did.
Mine's simple one. This is Shuri #1. This is the second print. You can tell because of the gray background to it, and because it says second printing there on the label. This is 9/8. These books were really hot. There are less than 1,000 copies, according to Comic-Con, of this book ordered. So it ends up being a pretty rare book. I've got this 9/8, and I've got a 9/6, and I think I have a raw or two. So I've been picking these up as I see them. I think Shuri, obviously Shuri is going to be in the next Black Panther. I don't know if I'm torn whether or not they're going to focus on Black Panther in the next movie. I think it's going to be more of a Wakanda movie than a Black Panther movie. And but if she is going to have a more prominent role now that her brother is no longer there, so I think it's a safe bet that we'll see more of her in this movie and probably in the future. But I like picking up rare second prints like that. Second prints are kind of my thing.
Did you buy that slabbed or did you send it in?
This one I sent in. This is one of the books I sent in a whole bunch of books, and this is one of the raws that I had that I sent in, and it came back 9/8.
I asked because Mark Wild says, sorry, Frog, dudes, I sent in 8 books to CGC to get graded on September 1st. Got them back in hand on September 16th. What? But as for the grades, they were all over the place. Were they moderns, Mark? Or what when you say they were all over the place, what do you think? Also, Mark asks, when you guys press your books, do you put notches in the magazine backer board in the center or whatever your center support material is? No notches.
What's the purpose of notches?
The notches are more for when you have a book and the staples are off center from the spine.
Oh, okay. I see.
Cut the notches there. That's when you do that. You don't want to, you want that support by the staples in the center, Mark. And in fact, books from like 2010, 2011 from Marvel have really big staples. You'll see the difference. They're like big prongs and they really stick out. You need a backing board and 100-pound paper on each side because those staples are so big. If you don't have extra width there to support, they're going to poke through when you press the book. So there you go for that. My next book. Hey, I don't have a giant size of Invaders #1, I said a couple weeks ago. Guess what? I have a giant size Invaders #1. I saw this at the Long Beach Comic-Con at, I want to say, Wonderland Comics, I think was the name of the booth. And it was up on the wall at a good price. And all the wall books were 30% off. So I said, yoink, I will take that, please. So I finally got a nice copy of Invaders, giant size Invaders #1 that I need to press. Let's talk about Frank Robbins for a second. Yikes. The cover is good because John Romita helped polish it a bit, and it's an homage to an old All Winners comics cover from World War II where they're stomping over the Nazis. But boy, you get inside and it's Frank Robbins and Vinnie Coletta. Yikes. Do we want Detective Chimp or Blue Devil in the Constantine movie? I'll take Blue Devil.
Yeah, I take the Blue Devil.
You get the books back if you pay more to fast track them. Always. It's worth it. Thank you, Richard, for the recommendation of IDW Usagi Yojimbo #10 Momoko cover. Favorite cover in.
Isn't it awesome? It's a great cover.
All cap charging covers work. Yeah, I have to agree with that. John Doe thinks they grade a little kinder when you pay fast track. I wouldn't doubt it. I don't have any empirical data, but You know, Mark needs work on his pressing. Grader's notes indicate slight creasing. Are they moderns? Are they copper? What are they? If they're copper or earlier, humidity chamber is the way to go.
Oh, why not?
James, I agree. He was great for the Invaders when Frank Springer was inking him. When Vince Coletta was inking him, it was a mess. I do agree. I really could not stand Frank Robbins as a kid, but yet I kept buying it. So I must have liked it. But I do think he looks a lot better with Frank Springer inking him. All right. What's your next book?
My next book is another book that I like to buy whenever I come across it. This is a graded copy of it.
Binary.
Binary, yeah. This is X-Men. What is it? 164. First appearance of Binary. You know, we have the Marvels movie coming up, and she is one of the Marvels. And you know, this book has been really just dissed over the past few years. People pass it over, and I just buy them. I can buy these things inexpensively all day long. And you know, this is a classic X-Men book, and it's an amazing cover. I don't know why people, you know, are so down on this book.
Why do you think they're down on it?
I don't know. I think, you know,
You see that.
maybe Binary is they don't consider Binary to be a strong character. But you know, this is in that run where these things were easy to pick up. This is a Claremont book, one of the part of the Claremont series of X-Men, which I think are just the pinnacle of Marvel's X-Men. So,
Maybe it's because Carol Danvers is Captain Marvel now, so it doesn't matter that she was ever Binary or Ms. Marvel.
yeah, that very well may be.
And there's not a new Binary to take her place like
No,
there
but look
was.
at that cover though. That cover is just amazing.
Well,
It
you
is
know,
just
it's Dave Cockrum. Come on, of course
yeah,
it's going to be great.
it is awesome. Yep.
Jay says Jay says they hate on non-binary people. I agree. And it's a post-burn book. Yeah, K-Mort. It's funny you say that because Dave Cockrum on the X-Men, when he first did the X-Men, you know, giant size X-Men through 94 through 107, looks great. And then Byrne comes in, and then Cockrum comes back. Was it me, or did he really lose his mojo on that second X-Men run? Everybody looks flat, like two-dimensional. Something happened with his art style where that second Cockrum run, I was like, oof. Like when Paul Smith came on, I was like, hallelujah.
You know me, I'm a huge Byrne fan. Byrne X-Men. Byrne and Claremont team up on the X-Men is unparalleled.
Wow. Here we go. Anyone buying All-Star Squadron 47, Origin of Dr. Fate, awesome Todd cover. Yes, that book is heating up a lot, actually. If you look on eBay right now, it's selling like hotcakes. Doesn't hurt that he's in Black Adam.
Right.
It doesn't hurt that there's a Todd signing coming, so maybe people are buying it for that to send it in.
Right.
So yeah, Spiders is a fan of Cockrum. Mark asking some deep questions tonight. Do we think Zaslav is simply prepping Warner for a Comcast purchase, and so DC TV movies for the next 2 years will be few and far between and one-offs?
That's a good question. I know DC as a brand has pulled so many different TV properties. I mean, you wonder what's the reason. Is it they just don't have the cash to continue, or are they trying to structure themselves for an acquisition? That's
a lot of times new people come in to corporations. Two people who have worked for many corporations in our careers, and they cut things to the bone, and they're like, I'm going to show that I'm saving money, and they end up cutting things a little too close to the bone, and they end up having to rebuild it. I got into music business in 2009. Okay. Streaming is killing the music business, or not streaming, illegal downloads. Streaming hasn't even started yet. And everyone thought digital is the future. So they cut the entire production department to the bone. We were no longer going to be in the physical music business. It was going to be 100% digital. Well, guess what? We're in 2022. Vinyl is huge. Cassettes are back. I wouldn't be surprised if 8-tracks come back or reel-to-reels. So sometimes people cut things too close to the bone and they have to rebuild. That may be what happens here. Who knows? Diener, hi.
Hey, Dean.
What are my thoughts on CGC Signature Series? It just sent 6 books to Sarasota for Signature Series. Do I have any? No. What are your favorites if you have them? None. I am not a fan of Signature Series.
Yeah.
In fact, we cover that tomorrow's show. Is that Tinkerballs?
No, I was looking at my Signature Series.
Oh, now Richard is a big fan of Signature Series.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite books in the collection. This is Thor 337, signed by Walt Simonson. He has such a distinctive signature. It's a dinosaur if you actually were to look at it closely. I love this book. This book is I love it signed. This is one of my childhood favorite books. It is signed by Simonson, which means it's been touched by him, and I find value in that. I have a couple other signature books. I don't have a lot because to me there has to be a significance to the signature. I just don't collect signature books because somebody wrote on a marker on the cover. It has to have a personal significance. So this one. I've got an X-Men 94 signed by Claremont because Chris Claremont is one of my idols. And a couple other. I've got Ultimate Fallout 4, the Djevik variant signed by, was it Hickman? I'm trying to remember who signed it. Anyways, Bendis, that's it. So signed by Bendis. So I have a few. I don't buy signature books because I like pretty yellow labels. There has to be a real reason why.
Vexer says he has a few. Made sure he got one from Stanley and glad it was before his last year's. That's what turned me off to Signature Series books, when people were shoving anything and everything in front of Stan. Darkhawk number 4, signed by Stan Lee. What? Why? That really kind of just turned me off. I think having a conversation with your favorite writer or artist is much more fulfilling for me. Now, no judgment. In fact, on tomorrow's show, you'll see I recommend that someone actually send a book in for a yellow label. And you'll see. I don't want to give a spoiler for tomorrow, but there's that. My next book for show and tell is Battleground 14. Who in the chat knows why this is an important book? It is an Atlas era Marvel from the late 50s. Typical war book from Atlas, but there's something significant about this one in particular that makes it historical in terms of the Marvel history.
Really?
Yes.
I have no idea.
Dean's guessing, is it the last of the run? No, there's bigger significance. I wonder who's Googling furiously now to find it. I will tell you guys, this is the first issue of an Atlas comic where Jack Kirby returned to Marvel to draw after leaving in the 40s.
Oh, okay.
This is from 1957, and this has the first new Jack Kirby story inside. From here, he went on to do Black Rider, some Western stuff. Excuse me. But this is significant because this is when he came back to Atlas. That story where they were closing shop and getting ready to go out of business. And Jack was like, hold on, let me help you here. And so if you read the story, it definitely reads like it was written by Jack as well. It's got that pentameter. Did I say that right? That Jack Kirby feel.
Pentameter.
Yeah. So Battleground number 14. Get them now while you can before more people find out about the significance of that book. It shows hope for humanity. Sure. Vexer, am I that obvious? Let's see. Not the first code book. Jack Kirby, goodness indeed. All right, we have a question from 35 Red Skull. Do we collect any DC? Don't get me wrong. I love that I can get Bats and Tex cheap. No one seems to have love for both anymore. I can answer first. Yes, no big shock which DCs I collect. OMAC, Commandy, The Demon, New Guy, Forever People, Jimmy Olsen.
Gee, yeah. Me, I do collect DC. I'm a huge Legion of Superheroes fan, so I have a significant collection of those. Not so big of a Superman or Batman fan, but I do have some. But I have to say, Marvel's my first love, to be honest with you. So most of my collection is Marvel. I think I have any DC stuff on the wall here right now.
You never forget your first.
You never do.
But you know what? Hold on 1 second. I do have a DC book. I just got back.
Got back from grading?
Luckily, it's within reach. It is Mr. Miracle #4, First Big Barda.
Oh, okay.
Too bad she's not on the cover. That would help. Big bonus, big surprise, big Barda. Big boobs. Yes, William. It does have a Russ Heath cover. Another reason to love this book. Any Image books? Savage Dragon. I have almost a full run of Savage Dragon. I like Eric Larson. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not I can't think of anything Image that I collected over a period of time. A lot of individual books I picked up.
Alex, yes, I have the full run of Hercules Unbound.
Of course he does.
Yes. Thank you, James. I love this shirt. I forget where I got it. Who are your favorite Legion artists?
Unlike John, I can't rattle off artists at the top of my head. Whoever was doing adventure comics back in the 60s, early 70s.
Kurt Swan.
Was it Kurt Swan?
Swan.
That is where I developed a love for comic books in general. It was almost all adventure and action comics. I got a big stack of them. Didn't have any real Marvels. It was all DC stuff. And the Legion was prominent in there. And I love those books. I love that art style. To me, when I think of Legion, I think of those characters drawn in the early 70s. Very campy.
Mike Grell? You didn't stay around for the Mike Grell run?
I got off of it because I had a Marvel fix, and it wasn't until Legion of Superheroes started their own title that I started reading them again in the 80s.
Dave Cockrum, anyone on the Legion in the 70s? You didn't read it then?
I don't remember artist names like you do, John. I don't have a repertoire of
I read Legion once, and that's when Keith Giffen was drawing it.
Okay.
And Darkseid was in it, so of course I had it. But there was an artist in the late 70s that drew Legion that I really think was underrated and is kind of forgotten by everyone. And his name was James Sherman.
Oh, okay.
He was really, really good. Richard K. Mort says, hey, come to Cincinnati. He'll pay you to stand in the Claremont line and get some books signed.
I've done that. Already. No interest in standing in line. I wouldn't mind coming to a signing, but I'm not standing in line for 3 hours again.
Steve Lytle, another great Legion artist. I take that back. I read Legion during the Darkness War, and I also read it when they rebooted it as a Baxter title, the 5 years later run, when they jumped ahead 5 years, and Keith Giffen and Tom and Mary Bierbaum were writing it. And it was super dark, and it was supposed to be a jumping on point. And I kind of liked it. I didn't understand what the hell was going on.
See, to me, the Legion is about hope. And when they do dark stories or dark visions of it, it really, to me, goes counter to what I think of them. So I tend to stay away from those storylines. I like, and again, it's because I grew up reading them when they were campy, Adam West style superheroes and supervillains. that I have that innocent view of them as a team and as a concept. So some of the later incarnations just really didn't appeal to me.
Crisis killed the Legion.
Yeah, man, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah,
After,
Crisis. Yeah,
after Crisis on Infinite Earths, you take away Superboy, you take away the reason for their existence, kind of.
yeah.
And
Superboy is the tie. Yeah.
no matter how many time bubbles and time trapper stories to try to replace Superboy. Remember when they were trying to push Valor as Mon-El is replacing Superboy?
Mhm.
Why do I know more about this than you do?
You know how long it's been since I have a whole long box of nothing but Legion that I haven't read since 1980 something.
I'm telling you, I was on board for a little bit there. The point about the dark storyline, there was hope eventually. They had to make it super dark to bring back a reason to have that optimism.
Mhm.
So it wasn't all dark and gritty 80s doom and gloom. There was a reason for having it that way. And yeah.
I'd say the costumes got more skin tight over the years.
Steve Lytle. Joe Staten. James, I never liked Joe Staten. He drew Justice Society and E-Man. It was way too cartoony for me. Some people live and die by him and swear by him. I never was a fan of Joe Staten. I also remember one issue of Legion where they introduced Block that was drawn by Steve Ditko.
Oh, really? I don't remember that one.
I thought, wow, this is a weird, you got your chocolate in my peanut butter, how dare you kind of thing. All right. Wow. We've been gabbing for 47 minutes and we have nearly 100 people here.
Oh, wow.
I know. Oh my gosh, Kmart, JLA Detroit, man.
The Justice League Antarctica.
Well, hey, I understand what Jerry Conway was trying to do. He couldn't use the big three because they had their own titles. I'm going to make my own Titans or my own X-Men. But vibe, stereotype number one, Gypsy. Her name is actually a slur. I like Steel. I like Commander Steel. But boy, oh boy, JLA Detroit. I was not cheering though when people were killed at the end. Bedtime, fellas. Good night.
Good night, man.
You think you're right. I think we're going to head out too. I have to edit tomorrow's show, so I don't want to be up all night. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This is always fun.
Yeah.
We will try to do it again next week. Right?
Yep. Next week.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe. Have a good night.
Bye.